I'm joined by General Secretary in Charge Communication, Mr. Jairam Ramesh. So thank you for giving us the time.
Thank you.
I want to begin by asking the questions regarding the Prime Minister's interview to CNN News 18. First of all, is something that you have already tweeted about. It's the Congress Manifesto. He has hit out once again at the Congress Manifesto, saying that it has a stamp of Muslim League. Secondly, the redistribution of wealth once again. And he interestingly, this time he says that I waited for 10 days to attack the Congress party on the manifesto, but I was forced to bring out the truth. It is based on facts.
Absolute nonsense. He's engaging, the tsunami of lies is coming every time he speaks. He's on the defensive, he's on the back foot. He saw the writing on the wall after the 19th. In the south, BJP Saf, in the north, BJP half. And that also was the reality after the second phase. So he's changed his entire tack, he's changed his entire discourse and language. He's now adopting the language, Muslim League, Hindu-Muslim, Mangal Sutra. This is the language of demonization and polarization and communalization. I've responded to each one of these charges. We are not going to engage him in a debate on these issues. Our discourse, our Nyay Patra, our manifesto is based on Samajik Nyay, Kisan Nyay, Hissedari Nyay, Shramik Nyay and Nari Nyay, the 5 Nyay's 25 Guarantee program. We are campaigning, our leaders are campaigning on issues of unemployment, price rise, economic inequalities, representation to the Dalits, Adivasis, backward sections of society, alleviating the distress of farmers. And the Prime Minister is deliberately engaged in inciting prejudices, communal passions, and completely distorting whatever we say or what we have written. There's absolutely no resemblance to reality, and it's shocking that the Prime Minister of the world's largest democracy cannot speak the truth even by mistake.
So also, when we talk about the Congress Manifesto, he also said that, Rahul Gandhi in a recent press conference has said that we will do a national X-ray. What do you, he said, what do you mean by X-ray?
X-ray is a colorful way of saying, isn't a census an X-ray?
He says कि हम पता लगाएंगे किसके पास कितना है.
X-ray is a colorful way of saying a census. We have been doing a census every 10 years. Why has the Prime Minister not carried out the 2021 census, which is carried out every 10 years from 1951 onwards? The reason why he has not carried out the 2021 census, he does not want the country to know what is the population of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. For example, that's one information that would come out of the census on which reservations are based. We have carried out a socio-economic caste census in 2011. That was carried out after a debate in Parliament in which the BJP participated and which they agreed to. And incidentally, the Modi government is using the results of that X-ray of 2011. We carried out a caste, that was a caste survey, socio-economic caste survey. It was a survey of not only the caste but also the socio-economic conditions and deprivations. And that deprivations is used as a list of families who are entitled to rural development, social welfare, various programs of the government of India, food security. That is an outcome of the X-ray that we did in 2011. So I think the Prime Minister, every sentence is twisted out of context, given a communal flavor, given poisonous slant. I'm very sad to say that, a Prime Minister of a great country like India is indulging in such blatant and brazen lies.
So in this interview, he also addressed the allegation by the opposition party that the agencies are controlled by the BJP, are controlled by the Prime Minister, to which he said, till 2014, Congress party had the agencies. My Home Minister was in jail. If this was the case, then why didn't Congress come to power once again? If agencies can actually twist the situation on
23 out of 25 people of the top leaders who have joined the Congress who had cases, who joined the BJP, who have had cases.
But
their cases have been, and he has claimed in the same interview to you that there is no case, that no investigation has been stopped. Hasn't the CBI closed the case on Air India? Hasn't the CBI closed the case on Ajit Pawar? Aren't investigations against the Chief Minister of Assam almost virtually closed? Isn't the investigation on Ashok Chavan now put into cold storage? Look at Indian Express. The Congress party is not saying, look, the Indian Express carried out a front page expose of 23 out of the 25 leaders from different parties, particularly the Congress party, who have joined the BJP. They've gone through the washing machine of the BJP with the washing powder to the Prime Minister, and they've come out clean. No investigation. And the Prime Minister with a straight face is saying that no investigation has been stopped. And the person who has interviewed him doesn't have the courage to challenge the Prime Minister on camera and say, no, Prime Minister, that's not true, you're lying.
Other than that, he also, in fact, this question was, of course, asked about how, the Congress manifesto, he basically spoke about how it has urban Naxal.
What is this urban Naxal? What is this urban Naxal? I mean, isn't economic inequality a reality of India? In the last 10 years, 21 billionaires are controlling, and this is the result of the Prime Minister's economic policies. 21 billionaires are controlling as much wealth as 70 crore Indians. You look at the privatization airports, who has benefited? Privatization of ports, who has benefited? Privatization of infrastructure, who has benefited? At most 1 or 2 or 3 big companies, who incidentally also happen to be owners of big television channels, they have benefited. Extreme concentration of wealth, creation of oligopolies and monopolies. Shouldn't this be debated? It should be debated in Parliament, it should be debated outside. And incidentally, let me say, he keeps on talking of inheritance tax.
Yes.
The idea of the inheritance tax was first mooted here by Jayant Sinha when he was Minister of State for Finance in 2014. It was then advocated by many intellectuals belonging to the BJP, the stable of the BJP. Mr. Jaitley took it up. Between 2017 and 2019, it was actively considered by the Modi government. One leading economist who a very strong supporter of Mr. Modi, has given an interview today saying that he's not against an income distribution survey after the elections. What does all this mean?
But now PM says that we will never bring inheritance tax the way that...
Yeah, but between 2017 and 2019, they actively discussed it. And where in this manifesto has the Congress party said Virasat Kar? Where have we said inheritance tax? I challenge him. I challenge the Prime Minister. Is asking legal MSP for farmers a Muslim League demand? Is a basic income for women belonging to families, poor families, a Muslim League demand? Is a right to apprenticeship a Muslim League demand? I mean, the guarantees that we are offering to the youth, to women, to workers, to farmers, to the poorer sections of society cut across sections of society, cut across religions. They're not oriented towards any one religion. All people, the poor people of India, poor farmers, poor workers, poor women, and the students facing record 45-year high unemployment, they will benefit. Now the Prime Minister is trying to see, he was very vulnerable on the pitch that we had worked out, the pitch that we had created. We were playing on the pitch of unemployment, price rise, economic inequality, farmers. He knew he didn't have an answer. So he tried to create a separate pitch. And that pitch is the communal pitch, the polarization pitch, the demonization pitch.
But a challenge has been thrown by the Prime Minister, specifically to the Congress party, that can they publicly or call a press conference and say that we will restore Article 370.
But who says? This is not the demand. He's trying to create a trap for us. We are not going to fall into his trap. We opposed 370 because it was done unconstitutionally. It was bulldozed through. We made our points on the floor of the House. Who is talking of restoring Article 370? We are talking of now restoring full statehood. There's been extraordinary situation where you converted a state, virtually downgraded a state of Jammu and Kashmir to a union territory. This is unprecedented, uncalled for, unwarranted. Supreme Court has said, have elections immediately. The real issue is restoration of full statehood for the state of Jammu and Kashmir, which is now a UT, and the holding of assembly elections, which the central government, Modi's government, has repeatedly postponed. See, Mr. Modi is trying to create traps, and we're not going to fall into those traps. We're not as foolish as he thinks we are. Because the real issues of the people, which is visible in phase 1, in phase 2, it's visible on the ground to anybody who's not taken in by the propaganda of the PM and his drum beaters, is that people are worried, people are in distress, people live in an atmosphere of fear. Traders are afraid, businessmen are. Why is the last 10 years seeing the lowest rate of private investment in our country? During the Manmohan Singh decade, private investment averaged between 32 and 34% of GDP. It's fallen to about 27 to 28% of GDP. Why isn't private investment booming in our country? Why are big businessmen, middle-sized businessmen, taking citizenship of Dubai and Singapore and London and the USA? Why aren't they investing in India? That's the question, the atmosphere of fear. You know, Keynes, the greatest economist of the 20th century, Keynes once said that investment is as much a financial decision as it is a psychological decision. Here, both the finance and the psychology is against private investment. And let me make it absolutely clear, I've said this on multiple occasions. The Congress party stands for faster economic growth. That faster economic growth has to come from greater private investment. But that faster economic growth has to be more equitable and more inclusive than it has been. And of course, it has to be environmentally more sustainable as well.
Okay, moving on from the Prime Minister's interview, a repeat of Surat is something that was witnessed today. We have seen a Congress candidate from Indore has withdrawn.
Well, this is, you know, he was intimidated. They raked up some old cases. I mean, this is a murder of democracy. This is blue-blooded murder, cold-blooded murder of democracy. What has happened in Surat, what has happened in Indore, and, you know, incidentally, we have not won Surat since 1984. We have not won Indore since 1984. If the BJP is behaving like this in seats that the Congress has not won since 1984, it shows how nervous and how worried they are that they have to indulge in such cheap tactics.
But, you know,
This is pure and simple intimidation of candidates, simple as that.
Okay, so you are saying that the candidates was intimidated.
No,
but
no, absolutely. They raked up some 17-year-old case and he was virtually kidnapped to join the BJP.
But what about the Delhi former Congress president?
What about him?
What intimidation did happen to him that he had to resign?
He was obviously agitated. The decision to go with the Aam Aadmi Party was not a decision of one person. It was a collective decision. It was taken with the full realization of costs and benefits. And I don't think anybody pushed this decision down Mr. Lovely's throat. Nobody can. We respect him. He's a colleague. He has already said that he's not leaving the party. He's very agitated. And our leaders are involved in talking to him. And I'm sure he'll campaign for the party. It's unfortunate what has happened. But I can tell you that this decision to go with the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi was not a unilateral or coercive decision. It was taken most democratically. It was taken after wide consultations, and it was taken, it had its pluses, it had its minuses, but the balance of advantage lay in having an alliance with the Aam Aadmi Party, which incidentally was born as an opposition to the Congress. So even for the Aam Aadmi Party, they had to swallow a lot to have an alliance with the Congress, and we had to swallow a lot to have an alliance with the Aam Aadmi Party. But these are extraordinary circumstances, and extraordinary circumstances call for extraordinary measures.
Smriti Irani today filed her nomination from Amethi. The question she asked, she in fact said that irrespective of which Gandhi is contesting against me, I am going to win.
But she has never been short of self-confidence, even if she has been short of sticking to facts and veracity and truth, like her Prime Minister, like her boss. But the decision on Amethi and Raebareli, I'm sure will be announced very soon. And I have been asked this multiple times, and I have said that the Congress Party organization, Congress workers, all want Mr. Rahul Gandhi to contest from Amethi and Priyanka ji to contest from Raebareli. When I was in Amethi during the Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra, a large number of people from different walks of life came to meet me and said, 2019 में हमसे गलती हो गई, राहुल भैया जी को यहीं से लड़वाइए. That we made a mistake in 2019. Please get Mr. Rahul Gandhi to contest. And in Raebareli, of course, there was huge sentiment, groundswell of support for Priyanka Gandhi ji. So I'm sure a decision will be announced, but I cannot tell you what the decision is. I don't know whether they're going to stand or not, definitively. But day before yesterday, the Congress Election Committee, the supreme body that selects candidates, made it every member of the CEC made his and her view well known. They expressed the sentiment. They expressed a sentiment on behalf of the Congress organization that they would like Mr. Gandhi to contest from Amethi and Priyanka Gandhi ji to contest from Raebareli. So it's up to them. I think the And whatever I can tell you, Smriti Irani is the outgoing MP from Amethi. Just like Mr. Narendra Modi is the outgoing Prime Minister.
But she's basically questioning that 3rd May is the last day of
Yeah,
nomination.
sure. Today
Why
what
the
day?
delay? Is there a lack of
There's
confidence?
no delay. Absolutely not. There's absolutely no delay. Mr. Gandhi is campaigning all over the country. Smriti Irani is not campaigning all over the country. She just went to Wayanad to show her presence, and she's now in Amethi. Mr. Gandhi today is in Gujarat, and he's going to Maharashtra. Priyanka ji is in Karnataka. So they have other responsibilities. They are campaigning across the country. I know tomorrow also they have campaigning responsibilities. So 3rd of May, still 4 days remain.
Okay. One last question. You have been traveling, campaigning for the candidates. What is your assessment? If you could give me a number, because BJP says
I'm
400 par.
I'm not going to give you a
unexpected
number.
reward.
I'm not going to give you a number. All I can tell you is you're too young to remember a film of 1962, which was a blockbuster film, the songs of which are still people hum and remember. Hemant Kumar's and Lata Mangeshkar songs. It was a film made in 62 starring Bishwajit and Wahida Rahman. You remember the film?
If you tell me the song.
It's called 20 Saal Baad.
Yes.
You remember 20 Saal Baad? Yeah. So it's 20 Saal Baad. 2004, India was shining. Bhishma Pitamaha, Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister. We had lost Chhattisgarh badly. We had lost Madhya Pradesh badly. We had lost Rajasthan badly. Congress became the single largest party in May 2004, and a coalition government was formed with a clear and convincing majority. So the 2 C's, clear and convincing. That majority is going to repeat itself in 2024.
But Kharge ji says that this is the last time that opposition can make this effort. Why? I mean, do you think that this is? Do you also are you of all the same opinion that this is the last time opposition?
Of course, because Mr. Modi's policy is very clear. He wants to go from one nation, one election to one nation, no election. That is the whole purpose of Mr. Modi. He wants to rewrite the constitution. We all know that the RSS has been opposed to the Ambedkar constitution. They said that the Indian constitution does not have the values of Manu. It does not reflect Manu Smriti. And it was called, it said that there's nothing Bharatiya about this constitution. I remember this was the language used by organizer and the Jansangh leaders in the early 50s. So this constitution has always been held in great suspicion by the RSS ideologues, and they would have loved nothing more than to recast, not just recast, but just to keep this constitution aside and come out with a new constitution. In fact, Mr. Vajpayee set up a committee, a high-level committee under the chairmanship of Justice Venkatachalaya, the very distinguished jurist, on reviewing the working of the constitution. It is not reviewing the constitution, but reviewing the working of the constitution. And Justice Venkatachalaya, with whom I have had long discussions, has often told me how initially the idea was to have this committee recommend a shift from the parliamentary system of government to a presidential form of government, which is what ultimately the BJP wants. So I think this constitution is under threat. The values of the constitution, whether it relates to social justice, social empowerment, democracy, representation, secularism, all are under threat, and that's the plank on which we are fighting, to save democracy and to save the constitution.
That will happen this time, is what you say.
I am confident after phase 1 in areas that we had been completely washed out in 2019. Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Karnataka. These are states where we were completely washed out. We were decimated in 2019. You will see a remarkable turnaround by the Congress, particularly in these states.